Hello everyone. This is the first of two videos. This first one, I'm going to review how to create the multi-view drawing with dimensions, and then I'm going to make a second video on how to download that, turn that in. So I have Fusion 360 open, and I'm going to go to the data panel to open up the file that I want to make a drawing of. For me, that is in my IED intro project, a folder called Basic Objects, and I'm going to be using this part here. Okay, so I'm going to close the data panel just so we can have more space. Now that I have the part opened up, I'm going to change my workspace from Design by clicking this big button and then scrolling down to Drawing. So I'm going to make a drawing from this design I have open, so I'll choose that option. You can see it's highlighted, meaning it's assuming that's what I want to make a drawing of, and that's correct. In our dialog box here, it's always good to double check the units, and I'm going to choose the sheet size of A and 11 by 8.5. That's going to be a normal size piece of paper, printer paper, and in landscape. I press OK. It's going to open up in a new workspace. So we have a blank drawing with a title block in the bottom right hand corner. Okay, we'll talk more about these title blocks later, how you could edit the information in them. But all engineering drawings have a title block like this. Information about who made it, the information to identify the part, the dates, all that is just as important as the drawing. Okay, so there is a preview of what's called the base view. That's the first thing you're going to place. And it's called the base view because the other views are going to be projections of it, like rotations of it. Now, normally the base view is going to be the front view, which we'll place in the bottom left-hand corner of our sheet. But I don't like its current orientation because we like to get a front view that's going to show us as most of the part as we can in from one perspective. So it's going to have more contours, so I can sort of understand what this part is more. Another rule of thumb is the side that has the longest dimension. Now that doesn't always make it the best choice, but often it does. And in this case, it does. So I'm going to come over to the dialog box that's open, and I can change the orientation. And you can just try a couple till you get the one you want. In this case, it's the left orientation. Now, these orientations are based on however this part was oriented when I modeled it. Okay, so like I said, I can see a little more of the part, I think, from this view. So I'm going to click to place it and press OK. And there I have my first image for the multi-view. Now, the rest of the images will be based on that, so they're considered projections. So we're going to come up here to the toolbar. Okay. If I needed to redo the base view, that's the first tool. But now I'm going to move on to the second tool, which is projected views. So it's asking me to pick which part it's going to be the basis of the projection, or I'm sorry, which view, which is this one. So we'll select it. And now, okay, as I hover my mouse over different positions on the paper, it changes its orientation, right? That's what we mean by projections. So here, I'll place the right side projection. Above it, I will place a top view projection. And then in the upper right-hand corner, I'm going to do an isometric projection. And once I finish that, there's a little checkbox here. I'm going to check to tell it I'm done. Okay. Now we want to place dimensions, but before we do that, a little note. It's not common to have hidden lines in the isometric view. In fact, the isometric view is often even shaded. We don't dimension the isometric view either. So we want to change its style so achieves its purpose of just kind of giving us a nice visual of this part. And if we right click on that, we get a submenu that pops up, and I'm going to choose Edit View. It's going to open up a dialog box for me. Actually, select the view I want to edit. And in this dialog box, I can try out different styles. Okay. The next choice, you can see, gets rid of the hidden lines. Here's hidden lines. Just visible edges. Both. And I'm going to choose a shaded view here for this one. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and close that. Okay, this is looking pretty good. Now we're just going to add dimensions. So you can come up here to the dimension tool. Okay. It works by, you can either just click on a line, it gives you a preview of the dimension, or you can click on 2 points and it gives you the dimension in between the 2 points you pick. So for example, on this front view, I'm going to choose the far left edge and then click on the far right edge. Right, and now it's giving me the dimension in between. I like to start with the largest dimensions because those tend to be placed further out so we don't end up crisscrossing dimension leader lines. So for example, now I'm going to place this dimension, and you can see it's nested below the 3.5, and these leader lines don't cross. It's a little cleaner looking. We prefer not to dimension to hidden lines. So for the dimensions on where these hidden lines are, I'm going to use the top view here. Okay, so for this notch, okay, there it's showing me that notch depth. The distance on the upper notch, I think that's a little clearer on this right side view. So I'm going to place that one there. Okay. I'm also going to place the overall thickness or depth on this one. And while we're here, this might be a good place for... I changed my mind. I think I want to indicate that notch depth here. We can really see that it's a notch. What else could we add here? Oh, the thickness. Oh, we have that. We have the thickness of that ear. It's looking pretty decent. We need the depth of this notch. Do that one there. The placement of where this notch starts. That's a little busy. So I'm going to select that one and press delete and get rid of that one. Okay, maybe I will put it down here where it's a little less busy. Okay, go ahead and review the rules for dimensioning before you turn this in, and make sure you feel like you've got all the dimensions and they're placed somewhat logically according to that PowerPoint we have. Okay, that's it for this one. You also want to make sure you press save. And then, like I said, in the next video, I'm going to review how to download this and turn it in on Canvas.